Good morning everyone and welcome to the class. Presently we are doing the chapter Asoka the Emperor who gave up war. We started this chapter in the previous class, and under this chapter we have discussed the difference between an empire and a kingdom. We have seen that a big kingdom is called an empire, and as the empire is very big, so there is a need of more resources in order to rule the empire. Like there will be need of the big army, and there will be need of more officials to collect the taxes because the area is bigger. And we have also seen about the Mauryan Empire, which was founded by the Chandragupta Maurya, and in this foundation of Mauryan Empire, he got help from a wise man named Chanakya. Chanakya and Kautilya both are the name of the same person, and Chanakya has written a book, Arthashastra. Okay, and in this book so many things about the political system is written down. And we have also discussed the dynasty, meaning of dynasty. When members of the same family rule, then that type of rule is called dynasty. In the context of Mauryan Empire, we have seen that Chandragupta Maurya, he founded the empire. That is why it is called Mauryan dynasty, because after Chandragupta Maurya, his son Bindusar became the king, and after Bindusar, Asoka became the king. So this is dynastic rule. After father, his son becomes the king, then his son becomes the king. This is the way of working in a dynasty. Okay, so we have discussed these things, and we have also seen the expansion of Mauryan Empire, how big the empire was. And we have seen there were three important cities of this empire. These were Patliputra, that was the capital city, and other than Patliputra there was Ujjain and Takshashila. So these were the important cities of the Mauryan Empire. And we have also seen that other than these important cities, there were also villages, and in these villages there used to live people like farmers and herders, and these people they were also gatherers. So in villages we have seen that different types of people were living, and they were doing different type of activities for the livelihood. Like they were farmers, they were herders, they were gatherers also, and hunters also. Okay, and after this we have seen that how the such a big empire was ruled. What was the system to rule the empire? In this context, we have seen that the capital city, that was Patliputra, the capital city was under the direct control of the emperor. The officials were appointed to collect taxes from the farmers, from the traders, from the craft persons, from the herders and all. So all the people who were living in the capital city, in and around the capital city, they have to give taxes to the ruler, to the emperor. And for that purpose there were officials who collected taxes, and there was also provision for punishment. If someone does not pay the taxes, then he or she was punished also. So in this way the system was going on, and these officers, they were the regular employees of the emperor, and they got a regular salary. And not only this, these officials were under surveillance, उन पर नज़र रखी जाती थी. There were spies, स्पाई होते थे जो कि इन पर अपना नज़र रखते थे कि दे आर डूइंग देयर फंक्शन एफिशिएंटली और नॉट. और इसके ऊपर, इन स्पाइस के भी ऊपर कौन होते थे? एम्परर. द एम्परर ऑल्सो यूज्ड टू सुपरवाइज द फंक्शन of all the officials, and the emperor took help from his ministers and also from the members of the royal family. So this was the system, how the capital city, how the area within the capital city and around the capital city was ruled. There were other areas also, and these areas were called provinces. And in order to rule these provinces, there were provincial capitals. As we have discussed, there were three main cities: Patliputra, Ujjaini and Takshashila. So these Patliputra was the capital city. Okay, we have discussed about Patliputra, and after this Patliputra, there were provincial capitals. This Ujjaini and Takshashila, they were provincial capitals, which were the center of power for controlling the provinces. And these provincial capitals were also under the control of emperor, but there was not direct control of the emperor because of the distance. These provincial capitals very far away, they were very far away from the city of Patliputra. And in order to rule these provincial capitals, there were governors, and mostly the royal prince, the princes of the royal family, they were appointed as governors of these provincial capital. And other than this, we find that there were vast areas between the provinces, and these areas were very important for the purpose of traders, because there were roads, there were rivers. So the emperor controlled all these areas, because traders used these means of transport, and they gave taxes and tributes to the emperor, because they were using the means of transport of the area which are under the control of the emperor. So we have discussed so far, we have discussed this much, है ना? And now I would like to tell you the difference between tax and tribute. We have seen that people used to give taxes to the emperor. Taxes are something which is compulsory. Okay, the farmers, the herders, the craft persons, they were it was compulsory for them to give taxes. Whatever taxes was determined by the emperor, they have to give the tax. Okay, and the second thing which we are discussing right now is tribute. What is this tribute? Tribute means something which was given by the people to the emperor willingly. They are not there is no compulsion to give all these things. They are giving it willingly. This is called tribute. So this is the difference between tax and tribute. Tax is compulsory, and tribute is we are giving it willingly. So when traders used the roads and rivers of the Mauryan Empire, they used to give something as a gift to the emperor, and sometimes taxes were also taken from these traders. But when they gave it willingly, it is called a tribute. Not only this, we see that in the Mauryan Empire, forest areas were also there, and in these forest areas people used to live, and these people used the forest produce. So these people also, they provide the Mauryan Empire with elephant, timber, honey, wax, etc. Whatever they were getting from the forest. They used to give a part of the forest produce to the emperor as a tribute. So we have seen all these things. Now we will move forward. Okay, we will see that there is one ambassador was there, and the name of the ambassador was Megasthenes. So first of all, you must understand the meaning of ambassador. Right, you observe the spelling of ambassador. Okay, AMBASSADOR, ambassador. Okay, this ambassador, it means the messenger. Okay, the person who brings message is called ambassador, and this message is from a king to a king. एक king ने दूसरे king के लिए जब किसी तरह का कुछ मैसेज दे करके भेजते हैं, उसको हम एम्बेसडर कहते हैं. एक किंग की तरफ से वो आता है दूसरे किंग के किंगडम में. ओके, so he is called ambassador. So one such ambassador was there, and his name was Megasthenes. The name of the ambassador was Megasthenes. This ambassador was sent by a ruler of West Asia. India, just understand the location of India. हम एशिया का एक कंट्री है इंडिया, है ना. एंड व्हाट इज द लोकेशन ऑफ इंडिया? वी आर इन साउथ एशिया, है ना. हमारा जो लोकेशन है, इंडिया का जो लोकेशन है, दैट इज लोकेटेड इन द सदर्न पार्ट ऑफ एशिया. ओके, अब ये जो सदर्न एशिया है उसके वेस्ट में, ठीक है, दिस साइड विल बी द वेस्ट, है ना. तो वेस्ट एशिया का एक रूलर था जिसका नाम था सेल्यूकस निकेटर. ओके, दिस रूलर ऑफ वेस्ट एशिया सेंट दिस मैसेंजर. हिज नेम वाज मेगास्थनीज. ओके, एंड द रूलर्स नेम वाज सेल्यूकस निकेटर. Okay, the name of the ruler was Seleucus Nicator, and he was the ruler of West Asia. He sent one ambassador to Mauryan Empire, and the name of the ambassador was Megasthenes. Okay, this is clear to you. Now we will see that this Megasthenes, he has written what he has seen in the capital city of Patliputra. Okay, he was living in capital city of Patliputra, and जो कुछ भी वो वहाँ पर देखता था उसको वो लिखता था. Okay, and we have the words of Megasthenes. जो भी Megasthenes ने लिखा है पाटलिपुत्रा के बारे में, I am going to read it out for you. Okay, the occasion on which the emperor appears in public are celebrated with grand royal procession. What does it mean? The ambassador, the Megasthenes, is saying that it was a very important occasion when the emperor comes out in public. ठीक है, whenever the emperor appears in public, it was a very important occasion, and people used to celebrate that occasion. And there was grand royal procession. राजा के एम्परर के साथ में बहुत ही ग्रैंड रॉयल प्रोसेशन होता था, उसके साथ बहुत सारे लोग निकलते थे. ठीक है, नाउ वी विल सी हाउ दिस रॉयल प्रोसेशन वाज. ओके, ही इज कैरिड इन अ गोल्डन पैलेंक्विन. पैलेंक्विन क्या होता है? पालकी, जिसमें राजा जो है, जो एम्परर है, सम्राट को हिंदी में क्या कहते हैं? एम्परर. एम्परर को हिंदी में सम्राट कहते हैं. ओके, तो जो एम्परर था, ही यूज टू सिट इन द गोल्डन पैलेंक्विन. ठीक है, जिसको चार तरफ से और उसके जो गार्ड्स होते थे वो उठा के चलते थे, है ना, पालकी ऐसी होती है ना. Then his guards ride elephants decorated with gold and silver. The guards of the emperor, they used to ride the elephant, and these elephants were decorated with gold and silver. Okay, and we see that some of the guards carry trees on which live birds, including a flock of trained parrots, circle about the head of the emperor. So how was the procession? The procession was very grand, है ना. The emperor was on the palanquin, then his guards were on the elephants. The elephant was decorated with golden and silver, and moreover what we see, that the guards were carrying trees. They were carrying trees with them, and on these trees what was there? Live birds. And sometimes there was a flock of parrot was also there, and these parrots were trained. And what was the training? Training ऐसी होती थी कि these parrots, they used to circle about the head of the emperor. जहाँ पर emperor बैठे होते थे, उनके head के चारों तरफ वो circle बनाते थे. Okay, so to make him such a special person, है ना, in order to make him a special, this kind of procession was taken out. Okay, and moreover what we see, that the king is normally surrounded by armed women. There were armed women around the king, and he is afraid that someone may try to kill him. There was always atmosphere of fear, because the emperor was very powerful and there were so many enemies of the emperor. So he was always afraid that someone is trying to kill him. Okay, someone may try to kill him. So for that purpose, what was the arrangement? The arrangement was that he has special servants to taste the food before he eats. Whatever food was prepared, that food was tasted first by his servants, special servants, जो कि उसके बहुत ही loyal होते थे. ऐसे servants, those servants used to taste the food, and when they find that the food is okay, इसमें nothing is there, no poison is there, when they find this, then only the emperor started to eat. आई बात समझ में? एम्परर के लिए कोई भी खाना बनता था तो फर्स्ट एम्परर डिड नॉट ईट द फूड फर्स्ट. द फूड वॉज इटन फर्स्ट बाय हिज स्पेशल सर्वेंट्स, एंड व्हेन द सर्वेंट्स फाउंड दैट यस द फूड इज फाइन, कोई पॉइजन नहीं है, सर्वेंट्स के साथ किसी तरह का कुछ प्रॉब्लम नहीं आया, तो ये समझ में आता था यस फूड इज फाइन. Okay, and then only the king started to eat the food. Okay, and not only this, he never sleeps in the same bedroom for 2 nights. He used to change his bedroom. Why this change of bedroom? Because if there were so many enemies of the emperor, one may know in which room the emperor is sleeping. If the emperor sleeps in the same room every day, then what could have happened? That any enemy can attack him when he was sleeping, है ना. For in order to avoid that kind of attack, what was done by the emperor, that he changed his room every day. उसका बेडरूम जो है वो हमेशा बदलता रहता था. He never slept in the same bedroom for 2 nights. एक रात एक बेडरूम में सोया, फिर वो दूसरे बेडरूम में सोएगा, ताकि किसी को कुछ पता न चल सके कि एम्परर किस रूम में सोता है, ताकि कोई सोए हुए एम्परर पर अटैक न कर सके. ओके, सो ऑल दीज थिंग्स वी केम टू नो, ऑल दीज थिंग्स फ्रॉम मेगास्थनीज ने जो कुछ भी देखा पाटलिपुत्रा में उन्होंने उसको लिखा और उसी से हमको पाटलिपुत्रा के बारे में ये सारी जो इंफॉर्मेशंस हैं, जो नॉलेज है, उसी से मिलती हैं. He has also written about the city, the capital city, that is Patliputra, which is now Patna. What he has written, this is a large and beautiful city. It is surrounded by a massive wall. Massive क्या हुआ? MASSIVE. Massive मतलब बहुत बड़ा, विशाल. हाँ, बहुत ज़्यादा बड़ा जब होता है कोई चीज़ तब उसको massive कहते हैं. तो the city was surrounded by a massive wall. The whole city was surrounded by a massive wall. जैसे हमारे घर के चारों तरफ बाउंड्री वॉल होते हैं ना, in the same manner the whole city was surrounded by wall. ठीक है? And why this wall was there around the city? In order to secure the city, in order to secure the emperor, in order to secure the people who were living in the cities. Okay, so the city was surrounded by a massive wall. It has 570 towers and 64 gates. So this wall which was there around the city, that in that wall there were 570 towers. टावर्स क्या होते हैं? जो बहुत ऊंचे ऊंचे बिल्डिंग्स होती हैं उनको टावर कहते हैं. What purpose these towers were serving? These towers were there to see कोई एनिमी तो नहीं आ रहा है, कोई अटैक तो नहीं करने आ रहा है हमारे कैपिटल सिटी पे. ओके, तो टावर्स की हाइट बहुत ऊंची होती है, वो बहुत ऊपर होते हैं. तो ऊपर जब हमारी हाइट ऊपर होती है तो क्या होता है? वी आर एबल टू सी एट अ वेरी फार अवे प्लेसेस, है ना. बहुत दूर भी चीज़ जो है उसको हम लोग टेलीस्कोप लगा के, उस समय भी एट दैट टाइम पीपल यूज्ड टेलीस्कोप. दैट वाज डिफरेंट फ्रॉम प्रेजेंट डे टेलीस्कोप, बट इट वाज देयर. एंड यूजिंग दिस टेलीस्कोप the security guards, they were always vigilant. They used to see कि everything is fine or not. So these towers were used to observe the activities of any kind of attack is not should not happen, है ना. उसको देखने के लिए वो टावर्स पर से वॉच करते रहते थे. ओके, and other than these 570 towers, there were 64 gates. Gates for what purpose? In order to enter the city or in order to exit the city. There were gates. और gates पे कौन होते थे? Guards होते थे. And these guards were there to see कि कौन जो भी अंदर आ रहा है उसकी वो search करते थे. He has taken something unwanted, some unwanted thing or not, है ना. और उसकी पहचान होती थी. देन ओनली ही कैन एंटर द सिटी. जस्ट लाइक हमारे जो 39 GTC में जब हमें एंटर करना होता है तो क्या होता है? हमारे गेट्स होते हैं, है ना. एंड उन गेट्स पे गार्ड्स होते हैं. दे आर ऑल्सो देयर फॉर द सिक्योरिटी पर्पज. तो इन द सेम वे, इसी तरह से पूरी कैपिटल सिटी जो थी वो वॉल्ड सिटी थी और उसमें गेट्स बने हुए थे, उसमें टावर्स बने हुए थे. एंड ऑल दिस वाज फॉर द पर्पस ऑफ security. Okay, the houses of 2 and 3 stories are built of wood and mud brick. So how the houses were in the city Patliputra? The houses were either 2-story or 3-story, and they were built of wood and mud brick. Okay, and the king's palace is also of wood. The palace of the king was made of wood and it was decorated with stone carvings. The decoration was done by stone carvings. Stones को carve करके decoration किया गया था. Okay, it is surrounded with gardens and enclosures for keeping birds. So there was a garden around the palace and there were also enclosures for keeping birds. So this is the description of the royal procession and about the city of Patliputra. And this description is given by Megasthenes, who was an ambassador of the ruler of West Asia. That is, the name of the ruler was Seleucus Nicator. Now we are discussed so many things about Mauryan Empire. We have understood the important things about Mauryan Empire. Now we will study about Asoka, the unique ruler. He was the greatest ruler of the Mauryan Empire, of the Mauryan dynasty. Okay, and he was the first ruler who spread his message to the people through inscriptions. What are inscriptions? When we write something on a hard surface like a stone, it is called inscription. You have studied about this in your first chapter. So inscriptions were used by Asoka for the first time. Any ruler used inscriptions in order to give message to the people, because his messages were so important that he wanted that these messages should live long, and that is why he inscribed these messages on the stone pillars. These inscriptions are still there, and we see the language which was used by Asoka in these inscriptions were Prakrit and Brahmi also. Okay, so this was the very unique thing about Asoka, that he tried to spread his message to the people by writing inscriptions. Okay, and now we will see the Kalinga war. The most famous incident of the life of Asoka was the war of Kalinga. Kalinga, first of all, you must know which place is known as Kalinga. Kalinga is present day Odisha. Okay, जिसको हम आज ओडिशा कहते हैं, that Odisha is known as Kalinga at that time. The coastal part. Coastal क्या हुआ? COASTAL. Coastal means ओडिशा जो है वो बे ऑफ बंगाल के किनारे है ना. तो जो कोस्ट एरिया होता है, यानी कि जो समुद्र के किनारे वाला जो पोर्शन होता है, दैट इज कॉल्ड कोस्ट. तो कलिंगा इज द एंशिएंट नेम ऑफ कोस्टल ओडिशा. ओके, एंड Ashoka wanted to conquer this Kalinga. It was his desire to control the Kalinga. वो कलिंगा पर अपनी जीत हासिल करना चाहता था. He wanted to conquer Kalinga, and it was not easy to conquer Kalinga. So many kings tried to conquer the Kalinga, but they were not successful. But Asoka fought this war, but something happened during this war which changed Asoka forever. During the war, he saw so much violence, so much bloodshed. So many people were died, not of Kalinga, not of Asoka's side only. People who died, they belonged not only to the army of Asoka, but the people of Kalinga were also died. Army of Kalinga were also died, and this huge number of people who were died in this Kalinga war, this moved Asoka. He was very much disturbed by seeing the bloodshed, and it caused such a drastic change inside Asoka that from this war of Kalinga he decided not to fight any more war. He gave up war from this war of Kalinga only. क्योंकि वॉर का मतलब क्या है? वॉर का मतलब है वायलेंस. वॉर का मतलब है देयर विल बी लॉस ऑफ लाइव्स, लॉस ऑफ सो मेनी लाइव्स. and he used to such violence because he was a king, and he fought so many battles. But the Kalinga battle proved to be a turning point of his life. He was very much disturbed by the amount, by the number of people who died during this war, and the bloodshed, all these things. Because of all these things, he decided not to fight anymore. He gave up war. So this is a very unique thing about Asoka, because in the war of Kalinga, Asoka won the battle. He was not defeated. He was the winner in Kalinga war. He defeated the king of Kalinga. But even after winning the war, even after winning the battle, he decided to give up war. This was very much unique about Asoka, because what we find that usually when we give up, कब हम give up करते हैं? जब हम एफर्ट करते 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 थक जाते हैं, तब हम सोचते हैं अब हमसे नहीं होगा, हम इसको छोड़ रहे हैं. नॉर्मली, है ना, नॉर्मल पीपल बिहेव इन दिस वे ओनली, कि जब हम किसी काम में हमें सक्सेस नहीं मिलती है, जब हम किसी काम में फेलियर होते हैं, तो हम गिव अप करते हैं कि अब हमसे ये काम नहीं हो पाएगा. आई एम नॉट एबल टू डू इट एनी मोर, आई एम गिविंग अप. यही होता है ना. बट अशोका की जो कंडीशन है, दैट इज टोटली डिफरेंट. व्हाट इज डिफरेंस? डिफरेंस इज कि अशोका ने उस समय वॉर को छोड़ा जबकि उसने कलिंगा जैसे कलिंगा वॉर को जब उसने विन कर लिया था. ही वॉज इन अ विनिंग सिचुएशन. ही वॉज नॉट अ डिफीटेड किंग, ही वॉज अ विनर. स्टिल he decided to give up the war. This is very unique about Asoka, कि उसने हार के नहीं छोड़ा, जीत के छोड़ा. और छोड़ा तो इसलिए नहीं छोड़ा कि वो लड़ नहीं पा रहा. He was capable of fighting, very much capable of fighting. और अगर और ज़्यादा वॉर करता, उसका एम्पायर और भी बड़ा होता जाता. But he gave up war for the purpose of peace, क्योंकि उसको पीस चाहिए थी. He wanted peace. Bloodshed नहीं होना चाहिए, violence नहीं होना चाहिए. That is why he gave up war. So this is unique about Asoka. We will discuss other things also about Asoka like Dhamma and all in the next class.